Forget your lust for the rich man's gold. All that you need is in your soul. Is a famous quote from the renowned band Lynyrd Skynyrd that shows that inside they will always be country boys from Florida and stay true to their roots. By the end of the speech, you'll know facts and history about the American-made band and Florida-born Lynyrd Skynyrd. First, you'll find out how the band became to be. Next, what the band did and their rise to stardom. Then, why the band came to an end and the recovery of the band. How the band Lynyrd Skynyrd came to be. The band was created in the summer of 1964 in Jacksonville, Florida by a group of high school boys by the names of Ronnie Van Zant, Gary Rosington, Alan Collins, and Larry Johnstrom. The band was formerly known as My Backyard, but was later changed to Lynyrd Skynyrd in 1969. The name Lynyrd Skynyrd came from the boys' gym teacher that worked at their high school. The band played in many small venues from 1964 to 1969, and they released their first album by 1973. By then, many people in the band had either left or been replaced. The final lineup of the band consisted of Billy Powell, Leon Wilkinson, Artemis Pyle, Steve Gaines, and lead singer Ronnie Van Zant. The band began their rise to fame with their most popular songs, Sweet Home Alabama and Free Road. What the band did and how they rose to stardom. Lynyrd Skynyrd released their first album in 1973, but it wasn't until 1974 when the band struck fame when they released their song, Sweet Home Alabama. The band began its first tour in 1973 as an opening act for the Who's Quadrophenia tour. During this show, the band was encored many times to come back on stage and keep playing. The band played all over the United States and even made their way into some parts of Canada. The band had released 5 studio albums and 1 live album by 1977. Sadly, at the height of their career in 1977, it came to a screeching halt. Why the band came to an end and the recovery of the band. On October 20th, 1977, the band was in a charter plane coming from Greenville, South Carolina to their next show in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, when their plane ran out of fuel and crashed in Phillipsburg, Mississippi. The crash resulted in the deaths of lead singer Ronnie Van Zant, Steve Gaines, and backup singer Cassie Gaines. The rest of the band members were seriously injured. 10 years after the fatal crash in 1987, the remaining band members, along with Johnny Van Zant, Ronnie's younger brother, as the lead vocalist, Richie Metlock, guitar player, and co-founder Gary Rosington, reformed the band and continued their tour until 2022, when the manager Gary Rosington passed away and the band split up. The band had many ups and downs in their career and made a huge impact on the Southern rock world. I've told you history and facts about the American-made band Lynyrd Skynyrd. First, I told you how the band came to be. Next, what the band did and their rise to stardom. And finally, why the band came to an end and the recovery of the band. We never took ourselves too seriously. We were just a bunch of rednecks from Jacksonville who got lucky. Quoted by Johnny Van Zant. Lynyrd Skynyrd began with a few boys in their friend's backyard and grew into an iconic Southern rock band that will forever be remembered. They paved their own way and made their way to the top. From a few Southern boys to some of the biggest stars in the world.